welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are in the world. Comment below where you are because I love knowing where you guys are from. Today I'm going to be doing a video that I've never done before and I'm really excited. It's an idea that I came up with during the week while I was at uni. It's going to be a mini review video of a bunch of movies that I've seen recently. Throughout high school there was always a running joke about me not seeing many movies because every time I heard people talking about a movie I would just be like, nope, never seen it. Since I started my film and television course I've been watching a lot more movies because we've been watching some at uni and teachers and students suggest some, and I've just really wanted to because I want more inspiration in my life and I've just found a lot more enjoyment from watching movies. So the first movie that my boyfriend and I saw was Shaun of the Dead, and he's the one that suggested it because he really likes it. It came out in 2004 and it's a comedy slash horror, which is a weird combination, but trust me, it works. For some reason it's rated R, so I don't suggest it to those young viewers out there, but I don't really know why. Maybe the violence side of it, but I didn't find it too graphic. I'm pretty awful at summarizing movies, so I'm going to quote IMDb right now so that you guys know what it is. A man decides to turn his life around by winning back his ex-girlfriend, recoiling his relationship with his mother, and dealing with an entire community that is returned from the dead to eat the living. I hate how stupid this movie sounds because I honestly loved it so much. Even when my boyfriend was describing it to me at the time, I was like, really? That sounds pretty cheesy, but it is so well done. I absolutely love the story. Although it's quite simple, they did it in such a smart way that I feel like I could watch it again and I would notice more fine details. I absolutely love the actors that played the main characters. They made this Cornetto series, which was named that because they featured the Cornetto ice cream in each one. Also, from a production side of things, I absolutely loved how they filmed and edited it. I heard that the editor is famous for this technique called elliptic editing, where they basically show really short clips, probably for like a millisecond, and it shows a whole scene in like 10 seconds. I love it so much. It's so engaging. I didn't want it to end, and with a lot of movies I do sort of check how much time there is left, but I just found this engaging the whole time. I've decided that I'm going to rate all these movies out of 10, and I'm going to rate this a 9, which I know sounds super high, but I was just so impressed by this. After I watched that movie, I really wanted to see the rest in the Cornetto series, so I actually watched the other two with my boyfriend. The next one in the series was called Hot Fuzz, and I feel like this is the most well known because I did already know the name. The movie Hot Fuzz is a comedy and it was released in 2007, and again it's rated R. I really don't know why. Maybe from a violence perspective, I've just never really had a problem with violence, so it's hard for me to know if it would be too bad for children to watch. The summary for this is: exceptional London cop Nicholas Angel is involuntarily transferred to a quaint? I don't know how to say that word. Quaint English village and paired with a witless new partner. While on the beat, Nicholas suspects a sinister conspiracy is afoot with the residents. That was a really hard sentence to say. I really liked this movie. At the beginning I wasn't too sure because I just thought it was going to be like a typical cops action movie. It was just a really smart storyline that had a lot of twists that I didn't expect that were almost kind of realistic in a way. I remember being like on the edge of my seat. Not that I was sitting in a seat, I was in bed, but I remember just being really gripped by it because I love action movies, but sometimes it feels very repetitive and it feels like they're sort of just doing things for the sake of it, but it seems like everything had a purpose, and that's what I really liked about it. It was also really funny like Shaun of the Dead, but probably not as funny, which isn't necessarily bad. It was sort of just slightly more drama-y. I would have to rate Hot Fuzz an 8 out of 10 because I didn't like it as much as Shaun of the Dead. Personally, that's probably just because I find the whole zombie thing a little bit more interesting. I just realized that 4 movies on this list have the same 2 guys in it. They are Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, in case you guys are interested. The last movie in the 3-flavor Cornetto series was The World's End. This one was very different to the other 2, mainly because it has the biggest plot twist that I literally paused it. I was like, wait a second, did that just happen? World's End was made in 2013 and it was rated R, and it's an action comedy sci-fi. That is the weirdest combination. In summary, this movie is about 5 friends who reunite in an attempt to top their epic pub crawl from 20 years earlier, unwittingly become humankind's only hope for survival. So I'm really bad at reading like long sentences when I didn't write it myself. Out of the 3 from this series, I think I personally like this the least. It almost started off better and then got worse. At the beginning I was kind of like, I don't think I'm really going to be interested in this, but as the movie went on it became more and more interesting. As I said before, it had the strangest, most unexpected twist, but it was really, really smart, and I like the representation of it. If you've seen it, you'll know exactly what I mean. Also, just like the others, it was really funny. I think the actors make it funny in every single movie. I would have to rate this a 7 out of 10. The next movie is again with those two guys in it, so I'm really sorry if you're sick of it, but if you like those guys, you will like all 4 of these movies. This next one isn't from the series, obviously, because there were only 3 in the series, and this one was called Paul. Paul came out in 2011, and it was also rated R. I'm not sure why at all, because I don't think there was much violence in it. Maybe because of swearing, I'm not really sure. This movie was an adventure, comedy, sci-fi. 2 British comic book geeks traveling across the US encounter an alien outside Area 51. I really, really like this movie a lot. I think it's because I personally love it when they explore the concept of aliens in movies. I think it's always really, really interesting. The character of the alien was really, really similar to Ted. And I think that's what made it so funny. If you give a character a personality that you just wouldn't expect it to have, it's always really funny for some reason. One thing I kept saying to my boyfriend the whole time was, I want this to be real, and that's the same with Ted. Like, you want that character to exist. Also, one last thing, I absolutely love the acting from the 2 main guys. They had such realistic characters. I think I would have to rate that movie an 8.5 out of 10, which I know sounds really exact, but when I compare it to all the other movies, I think that's where it would sit. Now moving completely away from those actors, I am now going to be talking about Fault in Our Stars. I'm sure most of you guys know this movie as it was so popular when it came out. It took me so long to watch it, mainly because I just knew it was going to be sad. And if I know a movie's going to be sad, I'm not going to want to watch it because I don't want to be sad. Anyone else like that? Like, if they know something is going to make them sad, they'll just avoid it even if the movie's going to be good. Anyway, if you don't know this movie, it came out in 2014. It's rated PG-13, so everyone above 13 who's watching this, you guys can watch it. Won't be violent, so that's good. And it is a drama romance, and it's about 2 teens, both who have different cancer conditions, fall in love after meeting at a cancer support group. This movie was incredibly emotional. I felt like the whole time I was trying to stop myself from crying. The weirdest part about it though is that I cried mostly afterwards when thinking about it. It's one of those movies that really makes you put things into perspective, and it makes you appreciate things. So I think in a way, although it makes you sad, it has a really positive effect on you. I personally really enjoy watching love stories. Even if they're not good movies, something about it I just find really comforting. But one thing I loved about this love story was that it was really realistic. It sort of had little complexities to it, and it was a lot about friendship, which I think a lot of romance movies lack. One last thing that I remember about this movie is that I had really memorable lines. There were just some things I heard and I was just like, wow. I quoted about 3 of them, which is funny because I haven't seen the movie, but I've just read it on the internet somewhere and it's stuck for a reason. Although this made me cry a lot, I would have to rate this an 8 out of 10. So moving on to the last movie, which I actually saw last night. Basically, it was a movie about a documentary being done, but like the documentary wasn't real. My boyfriend and I were both super confused when we started watching it because we're like, wait a second, this doesn't feel like a real documentary. What's happening? Called Paper Heart, and it came out in 2009. It's rated PG-13, so you guys out there can watch it unless you're below 13. Let me know if you are, that would be interesting. It is a comedy, drama, and a romance, and the description is that Charlene embarks on a quest across America to make a documentary about the one subject she doesn't fully understand: love. Honestly, I was mainly intrigued by this because I love the subject of love. I love when it's discussed in movies and it's explored and stuff, and also because the guy who directed it and also like directed it within the film was Jake Johnson, and he's a character from the TV show New Girl, and I absolutely love him on that, and I just thought it was really cool that he also directs. I thought the story was really, really good. I love the acting. It is crazy how real it seemed. Like, it was so flawed in a really realistic way, and the characters were so awkward and it just felt really real, so I appreciate it from that perspective. As much as I like the story and how they explored it from different angles, even from like a scientific perspective, some parts of it just felt off. I'm not really sure exactly what it was. Some scenes just weren't as strong as the others, and there were just bits that were a bit odd, and the ending was just weird. Like, it sort of, you know, it ended and it made sense, but it just didn't feel like it wrapped up that nicely. You could also tell it had a bit of a smaller budget and stuff like that, so it's completely understandable. Because of that, I'm going to have to rate this a 6 out of 10. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie and tell me what you thought of it and if you had the same experience as me. Anyway, that's it for this review video. I'll probably probably include less movies in my future ones. I would love it so much if you guys could tell me in the comments if you've seen any of these movies. Also, one last thing, please, I would love this one the most. Let me know in the comments your favorite movie or a suggestion of a movie that you'd like me to watch myself. I'm happy to watch anything. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really hope you guys enjoy this new kind of series I've begun, because I'm definitely going to be continuing it. Bye! Nicholas suspects a While on the beat, Nicholas oh my god.